Greetings! Manta79 here, and welcome back to another deck profile video for Cardfight Vanguard Deer Days! Alrighty, let's begin. Pressing the A button now.
Cardfight Vanguard Deer Days.
Loading game and proceeding. Here we are in the main menu, off to edit deck menu. And now in today's video, the deck profile I'm gonna be making one for is a Dark States, Avaricious Demonic Dragon Greedon, D-BT06. And I'm gonna be using this Dark States, Avaricious Demonic Dragon Greedon, D-Booster 4 deck as the base of the deck I'm gonna build. Okie dokie, let's get started. Let's select the deck and entering edit deck, and off we go. Here we are in the edit deck menu, and like I just mentioned before, the deck I'm building today's deck profile video is a Dark States, Avaricious Demonic Dragon Greedon deck made up of cards only available up until D-Booster 6. And okay, first let's start with the filter settings, and to pack, show only cards from D-Booster 1, Genesis of the 5 Greats, D-Booster 2, A Brush with the Legends, D-Booster 3, Advance of Intertwined Stars, D-Booster 4, Awakening of Chakrabarti, D-Booster 5, Triumphant Return of Brave Heroes, Festival Collection 2021, Festival Collection 2022, Promo Pack number 1, and last but not least, D-Booster 6, Blazing Dragon Reborn. Apply filter, and now let's get started. First up, the deck's Grade 3 lineup. For the Grade 3s of this deck, we are playing right deck, Grade 3, Avaricious Demonic Dragon Greedon. Skills, first skill, continuous as a Vanguard. If your soul has an Avaricious Demonic Dragon Greedon, the number of cards in your damage zone for you to lose becomes 7. And the second skill, auto as a Vanguard. At the end of the battle this unit attacked, cost Soul Blast 2, and put 4 rear guards into your soul. If the cost and paid, stand this unit, and if your soul has 10 or more cards, this unit gets plus 15,000 power until end of turn. So for Greedon, he's the main Grade 3 to ride this deck. With its skills, the first skill, as long as the conditions of the first skill are met, the number of cards for you to lose in the game becomes from 6 to 7, thus making it easier for you to last longer in the game and harder for your opponents to finish you off earlier. And the second skill, after attacking by paying the cost, and as long as you manage to meet the requirements of the skill, not only do you get to restand your Vanguard for another attack, but also give more power to your second Vanguard attack, giving it an easier chance to either pressure or finish off your opponent's whiff. And okie dokie, the Grade 3 Avaricious Demonic Dragon Greedon. We have 4 in the deck, 1 in the right deck, 3 in the main deck, leaving it that way. Next up, the Grade 3 Time Jarrett Dragon. Not playing this card anymore, taking it out, but thank you for everything. Next up, the Grade 3 Desired Devil Walzur. Not playing this card anymore, taking it out, but thanks for everything. In their places, we are putting in, for the deck's Grade 3 lineup, here we go, the Grade 3 Desired Devil Dofun. Skills, first skill, auto. When this card is placed on the rear guard from hand, if your Vanguard is Avaricious Demonic Dragon Greedon, you may Soul Charge 2. Second skill, auto as a rear guard. When this unit attacks, if your soul has 2 or more Avaricious Demonic Dragon Greedon, cost Counterblast 1. If the cost and paid, this unit gets plus 1 critical until end of battle. So for Desire Devil Dofund, he's a support card for the Greedon deck. With its skills, the first skill, when called onto the rear guard from hand while meeting the conditions of the first skill, you get to build up your soul for later Soul Blast. And the second skill, when attacking with your rear guard Dofund, as long as the conditions of the skill are met and you pay the cost, you can give plus 1 critical to your attacking Dofund, thus making it easier for it to either pressure or finish off your opponent with the increased critical. And affirmative, the Grade 3 Desire Devil Dofund. We are putting 3 into the deck. 3 is enough. And with that, we just about finished the deck's Grade 3 lineup. Now it's time to get on with the Grade 2 lineup. For the Grade 2s of this deck, we are playing Right Deck, Grade 2, Desire Devil Bushoku. Skills. First skill, Auto. When this unit is rolled upon by Avaricious Demonic Dragon Greedon, cost, put a card from your hand into your soul. If the cost is paid, search your deck for a card with the same card name as this card, reveal it, put it into your hand, and shuffle your deck. And the second skill, Continuous from the soul. During your turn, if your damage zone has 4 or more cards, the Avaricious Demonic Dragon Greedon on your Vanguard gets plus 5,000 power. So for Bushoku, he's the main Grade 2 to ride this deck. Its skills, the first skill, just by riding Greedon on top of your Vanguard Bushoku, by paying the cost, you can secure yourself another Bushoku from your deck to your hand to serve as a potential rear guard or card you wish to guard with later. And the second skill, as long as you've got Bushoku in the soul, as long as the conditions of the second skill are met, your Vanguard Greedon gets more power. And the best part is, this second skill is stackable. For the more Bushokus you have in your soul, the more power you can keep stacking onto your Greedon as long as the second skill's conditions are met. And confirm the Grade 2 Desire Devil Bushoku. We have 4 in the deck, 1 in the right deck, 3 in the main deck. Let's see, leaving it that way. Next up, the Grade 2 Desire Devil Keenan. Skill, Auto. When this unit is placed on the rear guard during your main phase, cost, Counterblast 1. If the cost is paid, look at the top card of your deck and call to rear guard. At the end of the turn, retire that called unit. So for Desire Devil Keenan, he's another support card for the Greedon deck with skill. Just by calling it to the rear guard and paying the cost, you can secure yourself another rear guard to either attack with, boost with, use its skill for your later game strategy, or to use as fodder for Greedon's second skill. And okie dokie, the Grade 2 Desire Devil Keenan. We have 4 in the deck, leaving it that way. And with that, we just about finished the deck's Grade 2 lineup. Now it's time to get on the deck's Grade 1 lineup. For the Grade 1s of this deck, we are playing the Right Deck, Grade 1, Desire Devil Goemon. Skills, first skill, Auto. When this unit is rolled upon by Desire Devil Bushoku, cost, reveal an Avaricious Demonic Dragon Greedon from your right deck and draw a card. The second skill, Auto. When this unit is put from rear guard into your soul by your Vanguard's ability, if your opponent's Vanguard is Grade 3 or greater, cost, Counterblast 1. If the cost is paid, until end of turn, when your opponent would call cards from hand to guard, they must call 2 or more at the same time. So for Goemon, he's the main Grade 1 to ride this deck. If its skill is the first skill, just by riding Bushoku on top of him, by paying the cost, you can draw a card. And the second skill, whenever you would move Goemon from your rear guard to your soul by your Vanguard skill, as long as the conditions of the skill are met and you pay the cost, until the end of the turn, you can restrict your opponent's defensive options by making them only be able to guard by giving up 2 or more cards. And alrighty, the Grade 1 Desire Devil Goemon. We have 1 in the right deck, so we are adding 2 more into the main deck. Total, we have 1 in the right deck, 2 in the main deck, total 3 in the deck. And next up in the deck's Grade 1 lineup, we are playing the Grade 1 Desire Devil Bubetsu. Skill, Auto as a rear guard once per turn. When your other rear guard is put into your soul by your Vanguard's ability during this turn, cost, Counterblast 1. If the cost is paid, choose a card from your hand and call it to an open rear guard circle. If your soul has 10 or more cards, draw a card. May be used even if this unit is put into your soul at the same time as other units. So for Bubetsu, another support card for the Greedon deck with its skill, when moved from the rear guard to your soul by paying the cost and meeting the condition of the skill, not only do you get to call another rear guard to potentially attack with or boost with, but to also draw more cards. And alrighty, the Grade 1 Desire Devil Bubetsu. We have 3 in the deck. Leaving it that way, next up, the Grade 1 Steam Battler Gunram. Not playing this card anymore, taking it out. Thank you for everything. In your place, we are putting in the Grade 1, The Grade 1. Here we go. The Grade 1. Desire Devil Kubiki. Skills. First skill, auto. When this unit is put into your soul from rear guard by the ability of your Avaricious demonic dragon Greedon, if you do not countercharge this turn, countercharge 1. And the second skill, auto from the soul. When your rear guard is placed by a card's ability, if your Vanguard is Avaricious demonic dragon Greedon, and your damage zone has 4 or more cards, that cult unit gets plus 5,000 power until end of turn. So for Desire Devil Kubiki, he's another support card for the Greedon deck. If it skills the first skill, when this unit is put into your soul from rear guard, as long as the conditions of the first skill are met, you get to countercharge 1, giving you a chance to refund your skills for later costs. And the second skill, whenever Kubiki is in your soul, whenever you would call a new rear guard by a card ability, and as long as the conditions of the second skill are met, that called card gets plus 5,000 power, giving it a easier chance to land attacks. And okie dokie, the Great One, Desire Devil Kubiki. We have none, so we are putting into the deck. How about putting 3? 3 is good. Next up, we are putting into the deck for the Great One lineup. How about this one? The Great One, Desire Devil Zito. Skill, auto. When this unit is put from rear guard into your soul by your Vanguard's ability, choose a card from your drop and put it into your soul. So for Zito, another support card for the Greedon deck with skill. When moved from the rear guard into your soul, you get to more or less build up more cards to Soul Blast with by picking a card from your drop zone and putting it into the soul along with Zito. And affirmative, the Great One, Desire Devil Zito. We are putting, how about 3? Yep, 3 is good enough. Next up, for the deck we are playing, how about the Grade 1 Desire Devil Incane. Skills, first skill, auto. When this unit is placed on the rear guard circle, if you Persona roll this turn, Soul Charge 1. Second skill, auto. When this unit is put from rear guard into your soul for your Vanguard's ability, cost, Counter Blast 2. If the cost is paid, choose one of your Vanguards, and it gets plus 5,000 power and plus 1 drive until end of turn. So for Desire Devil Incane, another support card for the Greedon deck. If it skills the first skill, when called into the rear guard while the conditions of the first skill are met, you get to build up your soul for more soul blasting. And the second skill, when moved from your rear guard into your soul by your Vanguard's ability, by paying the cost, your Vanguard's attack will then get plus 5,000 power and plus 1 drive, giving you more power and more chances to get triggers with the increased power and drive. And confirm, the Great One, Desire Devil Incane. We have 4 in the deck, taking 2 out, only playing 2. 2 is more than enough. Next up, the Great One, Recusal Hate Dragon, Sentinel, Perfect Guard. Skills, first skill, Continuous Sentinel. Second skill, auto. When this unit is put into the Guardian Circle, choose one of your units, and it cannot be hit until end of battle. If your hand has 2 more cards, choose a card from your hand and discard it. So for Recusal Hate Dragon, a Perfect Guard for the Dark States Nation, like any other Perfect Guard in the Cardfight Vanguard trading card game, it features the same skill and activation. When used to guard with and discarding 1 card from hand, you can block 1 enemy attack. But it also features an ability unique to all D standard format Perfect Guards. When used to guard with while you have less than 2 cards in hand, you will not have to pay the usual discard 1 cost, making Recusal Hate Dragon a potential no-cost Perfect Guard in desperate last resort situations. And okay, the Great One, Recusal Hate Dragon. We have 4 in the deck, taking 1 out, only playing 3. And then next in the Great One lineup, we are playing the Great One, Blitz Order, Elementaria Sanctitude. Skills, first skill, Continuous Sentinel. You may only have up to 4 cards of Continuous Sentinel in the deck. Second skill, Continuous. You may only have 1 Elementaria Sanctitude in the deck. Third skill, Order. If your opponent's Vanguard has triple drive, this ability can be played without paying the cost. Play this if a cost of, discard a card from your hand. If your Vanguard is grade 3 or less. If the cost is paid, choose one of your units, and it cannot be hit until end of battle. remove this card. So for Elementaria Sanctitude, it's the Blitz Order version of the Perfect Guard. Like any other Perfect Guard in the Cardfight Vanguard trading card game, it features the same skill and activation. When activated and paying the cost of discarding one card from your hand, you can block one enemy attack. But ideally, Elementaria Sanctitude works best against opponents who play decks that specialize in having triple drive, for example Grade 4 Vanguards or Vanguards who have their drive checks increased by skill or card effect. Against such opponents, your Elementaria Sanctitude then can serve as a potential no-cost Perfect Guard. And alrighty, the Grade 1 Elementaria Sanctitude, we are putting 1 into the deck. That's good. And with that, we just about finished the deck's Grade 1 lineup. Now it's time to get on with the deck's Grade 0 lineup. For the Grade 0s of this deck, we are playing Right Deck, Grade 0, Desire Devil Taida. Skill, Auto. When this unit is rolled upon, if you went second, draw a card. So for Taida, it's the starting unit of this deck, and like any other starting unit in the D standard format, it features the same skill and activation. When written on the top of, if you're the second to go in the game, draw one card. And okie dokie, the Grade 0 Desire Devil Taida. We have 1 in the right deck. Leaving it that way, next up, we finish the Grade 0 lineup. Next, the trigger lineup. For the triggers of this deck, we are playing the Grade 0 Hades Dragon D.D. Resentment Galmage Held Overtrigger. Skill, trigger, additional effect. You get during your turn, all of your Vanguards get plus 10,000 power and plus 1 critical until end of fight. So for Galmage Held, he's the overtrigger for the Dark States Nation. Like any other overtrigger in the Cardfight Vanguard trading card game, it features the same skill and activation. When revealed during a drive check or damage check, you get 100 million power and draw a card. But he also features an ability unique to him alone. When revealed during a drive check on your turn, for the remainder of the fight, during your turn, your Vanguard will always get a continuous plus 10,000 power and plus 1 critical. So for Galmage Held, he's an overtrigger that's best revealed the earlier you start in the fight during your turn. For as soon as you reveal him in a drive check, for the rest of the fight, you'll have an easier time pressuring or finishing off your opponent with the continuous plus 10,000 power and plus 1 critical during your turn. And affirmative, the Grade 0 Hades Dragon D.D. Resentment Galmage Held Overtrigger. We have 1 in the deck. Leaving it that way, next up, the Grade 0 Flinty Slasher Critical Trigger. Not playing this card anymore, taking it out, and in its place we are putting in the Grade 0 Lively Breath Dragon Critical Trigger. We are putting 4 into the deck. 4 is good. Next up, the Grade 0 Stem Deviate Dragon Critical Trigger. Skill, Auto as a rear guard. At the end of the battle, this unit boosted. Cost, put this unit into your soul. If the cost is paid, choose one of your units, and it gets plus 2,000 power until end of turn. So for Stem Deviate Dragon, a powerful critical trigger to play in your Dark States Nation decks. With its skill, after boosting attack, regardless if the attack hits or not, as long as you don't mind moving Stem Deviate into your soul, not only do you get to build up your soul for later soul blasting, but you can also give your remaining attackers on the field, Vanguard or Rearguard, a little extra power to work with. And okay, the Grade 0 Stem Deviate Dragon Critical Trigger, we have 4 in the deck. Leaving it that way, next up, the Grade 0 Roos Wildmaster Riley Draw Trigger. Skill, continuous as a Guardian. If your opponent's Vanguard is Grade 3 or greater, this unit gets plus 5,000 shield. So for Riley, a powerful draw trigger to play in your Dark States Nation decks with her skill, when used to guard with while the conditions of her skill are met, Riley then can serve as a potential 10,000 point shield all on her own. And alrighty, the Grade 0 Roos Wildmaster Riley Draw Trigger, we have 3 in the deck. Leaving it that way, next up, the Grade 0 Steam Scara Malnigal Heal Trigger. Not playing her anymore, but thanks for everything, goodbye. In your place, we are putting in the Grade 0 Incorruptible Holy Light Euphia Heal Trigger. Skill, Auto. When this unit is placed on the Guardian Circle, if your opponent's attacking unit has attacked 2 or more times this turn, this unit gets plus 15,000 shield until end of battle. Active in this battle is its second attack this turn or more. So for Euphia, a powerful heal trigger to play in your Dark States Nation decks with its skill, when used to guard with while the conditions of the skill are met, your Euphia can then serve as a potential 25,000 point shield on her own. So ideally, Euphia is a counter heal, best played against opponents who play decks that specialize in restanding and attacking multiple times with their units, either their Vanguard or Rear Guard. So for Grade 0, Incorruptible Holy Light Euphia, we are putting 2 into the deck. 2 is enough. And next up, we are playing the Grade 0 Brilliant Floral Uenia Heal Trigger Skill Auto. When this unit is put in the Guardian Circle, if the attacking unit's critical is 2 or greater, and its critical is increased by a non-trigger effect ability, or its original critical is 2 or greater, this unit gets plus 15,000 shield until end of battle. So for Brilliant Floral Uenia, another powerful heal trigger to play in your Dark States Nation decks with skill. When used to guard with while the conditions of the skill are met, your Uenia can serve as a potential 25,000 point shield all on her own. Ideally, Uenia is a counter heal best played against opponents who play decks that specialize in increasing their attacking unit's critical, Vanguard or Rear Guard by skill or card effect. And okie dokie, the Grade 0 Brilliant Floral Uenia Heal Trigger, we are putting 2 into the deck. And with that, which is about finished building the deck and explaining the card effects, let's just save the deck. Override deck being built, yes. And for the cards in this deck, we are playing 4 Grade 3 Avaricious Demonic Dragon Greedon. 3 Grade 3 Desire Devil Dolphin. 4 Grade 2 Desire Devil Boshoku. 4 Grade 2 Desire Devil Keenan. 3 Grade 1 Recusal Hate Dragon. 1 Grade 1 Elementaria Sanctitude. 2 Grade 1 Desire Devil Incane. 3 Grade 1 Desire Devil Guman. 3 Grade 1 Desire Devil Bubetsu. 3 Grade 1 Desire Devil Kubigi. 3 Grade 1 Desire Devil Zito. And 1 Grade 0 Desire Devil Taida. Starting unit. And for the triggers in this deck, we are playing 1 Over Trigger Damage Hell. 8 Critical Triggers. 3 Draw Triggers. And 4 Heal Triggers. And with that, the deck's been built, card effects explained. Now it's time to test out the deck. So let's leave the edit deck menu, return to main menu, off to the fight menu, and to CPU fight. Selecting the deck I just built, the Dark States, Avaricious Demonic Dragon, Greedon, D-BT06 deck. Selecting the deck and selecting the opponent. I'm gonna test it out on Dragon Empires, Yu Yu Kondo, normal difficulty, and click. And the battle begins! Let's get started! Here we are in the fight, deciding who goes first, so a rock, paper, scissors, shoot! Rock to paper, I lose, going second. Drawing our starting hands, I got a critical, a Goman, 2 Kubiki, and a heal trigger. Holding on to all normal units, returning only the trigger units, redraw! Nice, more normal units! So my opponent goes first, he rides the Grade 1, Blaze Maiden Reno, and that's the end of his turn. My turn, draw, I ride from the right deck, Desire Devil Guman. For the right deck cost, I am discarding, let's see, what should I discard? I guess I'll discard one Kubiki, since I can later use Kizito's skill to move a card from the drop zone to the soul, so discarding 1 Kubiki and ride Guman. Taida's skill, draw 1 card and draw. Next, I call to the rear guard 1 Guman, call, and 1 Zito. Wait, no, 1 Kubagi to the rear guard, call, That should do it. On to battle phase. First up, my left side rear guard Gumon attacks the Vanguard. 8k. The attack goes through and slash. 1 damage. Ah, heal trigger. Cannot heal, but now it's at 18k. I need 1 trigger to pass. Boosted by Kubiki, my Vanguard attacks the Vanguard. 16k. 1 trigger to pass. The attack goes through. Drive check. Ah, no trigger. The attack does not go through. The attack fails, and so that's the end of my turn. My opponent's turn. My opponent rides the Great 2 Blaze Maiden Ryu. Ryu's skill, Superior Call 1 Trick Star. Moving, he calls a rear guard and going straight to battle phase. Vanguard to Vanguard. No guard, gonna take it. Drive check. No trigger, safe, so just 1 damage. Ow! Damage check. Heal trigger, not bad, so I'll give all effects to my Vanguard. That should do it. Now another attack from the rear guard. Trickstar boosting Mirin, so I'm gonna guard with, how about 1 Gumon? Discard and protecting my rear guard Gumon, you're welcome. The attack fails, and my rear guard is safe. End of my opponent's turn, my turn. Stand and draw. I ride from the right deck, Desire Devil Boshoku. For the right deck cost, I'm discarding 1 with 2 Zetos. I can add at least 2 rear guards into the soul, so I'll discard a... this is a tough choice. I think I'm gonna discard 1... I'm gonna discard 1... I'm just gonna discard 1 Zeto, holding on to 1, discard, and ride Boshoku! Goemon skill. Use skill to reveal Greedon in my right deck and draw 1 more card. Skill activated and draw. I drew a critical trigger, not good, so then I'm gonna just go straight to the battle phase, I guess. First up, my rear guard Gumon attacks the rear guard Mirin. 8k to 6k. The attack goes through. Slash. 1 rear guard down. What else to worry about? Boosted by Kubiki, my Vanguard attacks the Vanguard. 18k. The attack goes through. Drive check. No trigger. Great 1. Normal unit. 1 damage. Slash. Damage check. Yes. Critical trigger. He waited a trigger. Lucky me. Trigger effects wasted, and so that's the end of my turn. Now it's my opponent's turn. My opponent rides the Grade 3 Chakrabarti Divine Dragon Nirvana. Skill of his Grade 2 Ryu, he adds Virina to his hand. Skill of Nirvana, Superior Calling Trickstar from the drop zone and overdressing 1 Virina. And another Virina, 2 of them, not good. Vanguard to Vanguard. Skill of Virina, he's gonna give power to his entire front row. Then I can't afford to defend, so no guard, taking the hit. Twin drive, first check. Critical trigger, come on, so lucky. Critical the van and power the Virina, not good for me. Second check. No trigger, but a perfect guard. So lucky. Here it comes, 2 damage to me. Damage check first. Over trigger. Not bad, but not good, I guess. So all effects to Vanguard. And I drew another Boshoku. Second check. No trigger. Rear guard attack. No guard. Sorry, Gumon. And Gumon is out. Again, I'm sorry. That's all for my opponent. My turn, stand and draw. I ride from the right deck, Avaricious Demonic Dragon Greedon. For the right deck cost, I'm discarding 1... I'm going to discard 1 critical trigger, Lively Breath Dragon, discard and ride Greedon. Skill of Boshoku. Put a card from my hand into the soul. I'm putting 1 Bubetsu into the soul. And calling and adding a Boshoku into my hand. Next up, I call Boshoku, and 1 Zito. Call. And then Greedon moves 4 rear guards, so I'll move 1 more inside. How about 1 Bubetsu? That should do it. Call. And now on to the battle phase. First up, my Vanguard unboosted attacks the Vanguard. Wait, hold on. If rest only can do standing units, so first I'll have Boshoku attack unboosted to the rear guard Virina on the right. The attack goes through and slap. 1 less rear guard to worry about. Now my Vanguard unboosted attacks the Vanguard. 13k. The attack goes through. Twin drive. First check. Alright, critical trigger, just what I needed. I give the all effects to my Vanguard. There we go. And the second check. No trigger, so just 2 damage to my opponent. And boom! Damage check first. No trigger. Nice, 1 less critical persona right whip. Second check. Ah, critical trigger, so lucky. All effects to Vanguard. This is not good for me. Fine, I'm still gonna keep going. Greedon skill, Soul Blast 2 cards. I Soul Blast 1 Daida and 1 Bubetsu. Soul Blast and send 4 standing rear guards to the soul. I send Zito, Kubiki, Bubetsu, and Boshoku to the soul. Into the soul. And restand my Vanguard. Skill activated. First, I'm gonna first use my Bubetsu skill, Counter Blast 1, Counter Blast, and Superior Call 1 card from my hand. I'm Superior Calling. Let's see. 1 Desire Devil Keenan to the rear guard. Call. And then activating Kubiki's skill, giving the called unit plus 5,000 power. Wait, just countercharge 1, can't get power, so just using Zito's skill to move a card from my drop zone into the soul. I'm moving 1 Kubiki. Let's see, according to the skill, Kubiki's power-up skill only works if I have 4 more cards in the damage zone. I only have 2, so that's why, so just gonna go straight again. My Vanguard attacks the Vanguard. 23k, 2 crits. My opponent perfect guards. I knew that was coming. He perfect guards with a critical trigger. Alright, drive check. Alright, critical trigger. I give all effects to Keenan. Critical added and power added. Second check, come on. Alright, heal trigger. I cannot heal but give all effects to Keenan. Just enough power. Now, the attack is blocked, but next up, my rear guard Keenan attacks the Vanguard. 29k, 2 crits. He double guards for 33k. The attack is blocked, but I made him use up most of his hand, so that's still a good choice. End of my turn, my opponent's turn. My opponent rides. No, he just calls Damari, Vanguard to Vanguard, skill of Nirvana. He's gonna give power to his Vanguard and Virina, so no guard for this one. Drive check first. No trigger. No, he can Persona right next turn. Second check. Ah, perfect guard. Come on, so lucky. Here it comes. 1 damage to me. Damage check. No trigger. Zito. Rear guard to Vanguard. 13k. I guard with a... I'm guarding with a heal trigger. Eugenia. 23k. Attack blocked. And ka-chink, safe. Next, here comes attack from skill of the rear guard Damari. Superior calling. Nope, he retires a rear guard and Superior calls a critical.
ヴァンガードにアタック
Overdress the Vanguard, skill plus power, and nope, not gonna retire a rear guard, so no guard taking the attack.
ノーガード
Ow!
ダメージ
Damage check. No trigger, perfect guard, not good. End of my opponent's turn, my turn. Stand and draw. I'm going straight to the main phase. I'm calling to the rear guard. Let's see, one in cane. Call, and calling, let's see, one Kubigi. Call, and one Dolphin. Wait, setting back, calling one Dolphin, and call.
コール
Not gonna use his skill. Then I'm gonna call one stem deviate to the rear guard. Call.
コール
On to battle phase. First up, my Vanguard unboosted attacks the Vanguard. 23k. My opponent perfect guards. He discards for the perfect guard cost a
完全ガードで
grade
す
2. Alright, twin drive, first check.
ゲット
Alright, critical trigger, just what I needed. I give all effects to my Vanguard. Hold on, I give the critical to Vanguard and power to Dolphin.
クリティカル
There we go.
パワープラス
Trigger effects added, and the second
チ
check.
ェックザドライブトリガーゲッ
Alright, draw trigger. I drew another critical. I guess I'll give all effects to my Vanguard.
トパワープラス
And the attack is blocked. Then here comes Greedon skill. I'm going to Soul Blast 2. Soul Blasting 1 and 2. Soul Blast and send 4 standing rear guards to the soul. I send Kubiki, Incane, Stem Deviate, and Keen into the soul.
発動だ
Into the soul. Go! And restand the Vanguard. Incane skill. Counter Blast 2. 1 and 2. Counter Blast and plus power and drive to the
パワ
Vanguard.
ープラス
And the remaining one, let's see. Yep, activating Kubigi's skill to counter charge 1.
発動だ
Counter charge 1. Now my Vanguard attacks the Vanguard again. 38k, 2 crits, triple drive.
ノーガード
The attack goes through.
チェ
First
ッ
check.
クザドライブトリガー
No trigger.
チェ
Second
ック
check.
ザドライブトリガー
No trigger. Greedon. Nice. A Persona Ride.
チェッ
And the
クザ
third
ドライ
check.
ブトリガー
Heal trigger. I heal 1 point of damage. Healing and give power to Dolphin. Heal and power
パ
up.
ワープラス
Boom. 2 damage.
ダメー
First.
ジチェック
Ah, over trigger. Come on. So lucky.
パワープラス
All effects to Vanguard and
ダ
second
メージチェ
check.
ック
No trigger. Ah, that over trigger saved him. Fine, then Dolphin attacks the rear guard by Arena, 33k.
ノーガード
The attack goes through and dash. One less rear guard to worry about.
ターンエンド
End of my turn, my opponent's turn.
ペルソナライ
Here it comes, he Persona rides Nirvana. Knew that was coming. Using Nirvana's skill to Superior Call Trickstar and overdressing by Arena again. No!
ヴァンガードにアタック
Vanguard to
ガ
Vanguard.
ードのスキル発動
Here it comes.
パワー
Power to Vanguard and by Arena. I have enough in my hand to block the next 2 attacks. Let the Vanguard go through.
ノーガード
First check. Ah, heal trigger. Come on. He's back to 4 damage. So lucky of all the triggers. Second check. No trigger. Safe. So just 1 damage. Here it
終わり
comes.
にします
Damage check.
ゲッ
Draw trigger. Just what I needed. I drew a draw trigger. All effects to
トパワ
Vanguard.
ープラス
Here comes the Vanguard attack. Overdress skill. Power up to the rear guard. And is he going to retire my rear guard? Yep, he retires Dolphin. No guard taking the
ノ
attack.
ーガードダメージチェッ
Damage check.
クゲット
Critical trigger.
クリティカルトリガー
That's another good card. All effects to Vanguard.
クリティカルプラス
And there we
パワ
go.
ープラス
One more attack from the rear guard. Nope.
My turn.
My turn. Stand and draw. It's time to Persona Ride Avaricious Demonic Dragon Greedon. Here we go.
今こそ真の力を表せ。ペルソナライド。
Persona Ride. Power up and draw more cards. I call to the rear guard. One cannon to the rear guard. Call. Skill activated. Counter blast 1. Counter blast and look at the top card of my deck. Elementary Saxtude. Come on, it cannot be called. I wasted a perfect guard. So unlucky. Fine, I'm gonna call Dolphin to the rear guard. Calling. And calling. Not activating its skill. Next, I'm gonna call. Fubetsu. Call. And. Calling next. 1, 2 stem deviates. Call and call. That should do it. Now on to battle phase. First up, my Vanguard unboosted attacks the Vanguard. 33k. My opponent double guards. 33k. Intercepts. 38k. 1 trigger to pass. Twin drive. First check. Critical trigger. Nice. Just what I needed. All effects to the Vanguard. Critical and power added. And the second check. No trigger. So the attack goes through and smash. Damage goes through. 2 damage first. No trigger. Safe. And the second one.
ダメージチェック
No trigger. Safe. 6 damage. I win.
勝負あったよ。
Huh. Well, that was a pretty okay fight. Despite some luck from my opponent's side, I still managed to eke out a win. I got to try at least some of the new cards I put in the deck. So, I got win, double trigger, attack 40,000 more power, drew an over trigger, opponent drew an over trigger, did a Persona Ride, 8 turns passed, did a superior call, and retired 5 opposing units. So got a total of 2,900 VP, total VP 15,525. Pressing A to go next, leaving the fight and returning to fight menu. Leaving fight menu, going back to main menu, and on to the edit deck menu. And with that, the deck's been built, the card effects have been explained, and I just finished testing the deck out in front of you. So first I want to say is, thank you to the viewers for watching today's video, and to please stay tuned for more videos I plan to upload again in the near future. I also hope you all show support by liking, commenting, sharing, and subscribing to my videos and channel. And with that I say, goodbye and